as safety officers on this fire, we monitor each divisions through the operations they'll be going through each day. So that evening we'll have a meeting with operations, with the divisions, with safeties, with there's a air attack base out there with helicopters, and we all get together and discuss our plans for the next day. And then the safety officer basically lists all the hazards that they can think of that they could face in those missions, and look at is it a mission that we need to be doing, and if so, how can we mitigate as many risks as possible to make it a safe mission. So for instance, like I said, driving out here, this is just a smaller incident, but driving out here, we talked about the animals. So just making sure to mitigate that we let people know each day and remind people, because people are tired, they've been working 16-hour days. Just simple things like, hey, make sure you get your lights on, make sure you stick to the speed. It may seem a little slow, but they're going to want deer sightings. Make sure make sure if there's buckets working in an area where we plan to do bucket drops, that heavy equipment isn't working, because they're dropping multi-swimming pools worth of water down to the ground. And if even heavy equipment like a dozer's in there, or if some individuals are in there plugging in hose or building line, that can be detrimental. If they're planning on going in and scouting or working in an area, making sure snags are mitigated before we get folks on the ground into that area. That's basically the primary mission, I would say.
So as a public information officer, my number one priority is keeping the public informed. I have information boards posted around the area that I update the maps and some facts daily on it, and we answer phone calls and emails, questions from the public about what's going on out here. We hold community meetings, so to get people together that maybe don't have access to internet or the conventional ways of learning information, and we have kind of question and answer sessions. We hold cooperator meetings, so all of the the fire departments, the police department, the Forest Service representatives, a whole bunch of cooperators that are working with us. We have kind of information sessions with them also, so that we try to get as much information as possible. We're not trying to keep secrets.
So we're at the Coeur d'Alene air tanker base, and at this base we refill the air tankers with retardant after they drop. So an airplane will come into the ramp area here, we'll pull into the pit, and our personnel direct them where to park, and then we have personnel that come out and load the airplane with retardant. And it's like this plane behind us here will hold 3,000 gallons of retardant, and we can load them in 8 minutes or less, and then they're back out again to go and make another drop. So they have to come back here after every drop to get reloaded, and then we can also refuel them while they're here as well.
And the drops can be hundreds of miles away?
Yeah, these air tankers can respond anywhere in the country. They're a national resource. We're fortunate that we get to have them here when they are available.
We look at the fire behavior and how fast the fire is moving. We want to make sure that we have enough time to do whatever actions we're talking about. And in the case of the Kootenai River Complex, it was putting in dozer line and hand line along the public private lands boundaries. And in certain cases, we'll do our structure protection work, which could include putting we'll have some blivets or portable water tanks that we run portable pumps off of, that we can have a small sprinkler system around somebody's structure. Sometimes if we've got a good steady stream source, we might even put a sprinkler line in as our primary line and just wet the fuels down, so the fire's not going to want to move through it. Do a little bit of shaded fuel break right along the line, and that's some of what you'd see up there on the Kootenai River Complex. As we've gone around and we'll inventory where all the homes are at, and then we'll order the equipment that's needed to put it in place, and then based on where the fire's at and how it's behaving, we'll decide, yep, it's time to put that equipment in place so we're ready if the fire chooses to move down in this area. It's busy on your unit, it's all hands on deck for a short period of time, and now it's become a more consistent
Year-round national effort. Yeah.
national effort. Plus, they move us around a lot more nationally than they used to. It used to be that teams might go out 2, maybe 3 times a year, and now teams are going out 3 to 5 times a year, even in slower years, which means all those folks aren't getting their day jobs done during the times that they're out for maybe 50, 60, 70 days out of the calendar year. And I mean, I think sometimes there's a misperception that folks that are out managing the wildfires, that's their sole job, and they have time to plan and train for that all year round. It's a collateral duty that is on top of everything else they've got going.